Hello and welcome to another episode of 207 Aikido. I just got back from Henry's seminar in Burlington, and while I got Henry's sessions on Saturday and Sunday, I didn't end up shooting the Friday seminar, which was taught by Joe and Tyler, and I wish I had because there were some things said in that seminar that I found really useful throughout the weekend. So I'm going to offer you a very poor substitute, which is me trying to recap some of the highlights that were useful to me. One of those things was Joe talking about how to take ukemi the way he thinks about it. Basically, Joe's main point, and I've heard people say this in different ways before. We did definitely say something similar in the Tamiki style when we're doing the Kazushiwaza and other things, other hand grabs. But basically, you've got both hands are active and both hands are sort of equally out. So one of the techniques we did is Tori had sort of palms up here, and Uke was grabbing with one hand, could be two, you could be setting up for a second. For instance, in this situation, if I'm thinking about coming out equally, I'm not banging into the side of Eric here. I'm keeping my distance. And one of the reasons I'm keeping my distance, if you think about this like Shihonage, I don't want to give Eric's arm back to him. I want to be doing this there. Or if I'm grabbing to strike, that's the other reason why this hand would be equally active. And if I'm trying to strike, I'm not a striker. But I think if I'm trying to strike, I'd want to be striking somewhere where I'm strong, say right here. So I'm bringing this force out, and I'm looking for that opportunity. And when I do that, when I'm out equally with both hands, this sets up an axis that comes through my feet, through the tanden and koshi, and out through both hands. If I'm out through one hand and this is sort of floppy, it doesn't define that axis as well for Eric, and I might not take as good of a fall. And if you watch Joe, I mean, he takes these really spectacular falls to the point where you might think, oh, he's conspiring with Henry.
Oh, jeez!
But over the course of the weekend, I managed to take a couple of good falls. And the reason that they happened was not because I was in collusion with the person I was working with. It was because I was trying to work with both hands evenly from the tanden out, which is not to say I understand all of these mechanics yet. But I'm trying to go from here out through the center. So from this one, I'm looking for that opportunity. And if Eric gets it, then I'm going to go over much more easily. And if you would just do something improper for a second. So if Eric does something wrong, there's my opportunity to strike. So it can give you something spectacular is going to happen either way. If I'm fully committed, and I probably shouldn't be leaning forward like this. If I'm fully committed from the tanden here, then that sets up the opportunity, but also if Eric does something wrong, then I've got that opportunity to strike him. And even here at the end, I'm still looking with this hand. Eric still has to be paying attention until the point where he can back away there safely. So I found that very useful to really think about this other hand. Even if I'm not actively using it, I'm still looking for that opening, and it keeps me better balanced, and it lets Eric do a better technique. So play with that, and I hope it helps. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.